great. You always look good, but now you look even better.
This is breaking news from Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.
Our first opportunity to go a day early. So this is a little bit of a different process, but normal Friday morning, and then we'll kind of clean up after practice and get to the airport and then head to Nashville. So looking forward to it.
Coach Nick Saban once told me that after a disappointing stretch of games, sometimes it's a blessing to get on the road. You get away from everything. You're kind of isolated in a hotel. Do you think that's still true at the professional level?
If maybe some people would look at it that way. I mean, we're gonna go there and we're gonna get a good night's rest, and then we're gonna kind of be together, and do our thing tomorrow in terms of reviewing a film and all the elements of the game plan. Whenever you go on the road, there's always a little less distraction relative to, who's in town or who's coming into the game and those kind of things. So there may be something to that. But, I love being at home and playing at home. Obviously, last week, loved our environment here. But at the same time, I think you embrace it all. We're looking forward to the opportunity to go and spend some quality time together and just nail down the game plan and get ourselves ready to go. We know this is going to be a tough game, and hopefully we use the time wisely.
Josh, I know Hunter Renfro's status is kind of up in the air, but how much does it help having a receiver like Devontae, who's pretty much equally as effective as he is outside his inside? Yeah,
you always try to build depth on your roster so that you can accommodate, situations like this. Tay obviously can move around the formation. We've seen Mac move around the formation too. Keelan is going to do the same thing. Our tight ends are kind of versatile in that regard too. So we've tried to preach since we got here, let's learn the concept, not one spot in the concept, because these things are going to happen a lot. Same thing defensively, linebackers, safeties, et cetera, could play different spots. And if you're just focusing on one small part of the call or the scheme, then when you have to get put into a different spot, it's almost like you have to relearn it all over again. And so from the beginning, we've kind of preached, let's learn the why and the whole concept, the big picture. Because this could happen in a game too, or all of a sudden you practiced it one way and then you have an injury or two, and now all of a sudden you're shuffling it in the middle of first or second quarter, and you don't have time to have a week of practice and 4 meetings before you have to go back out there. So our guys have been great in terms of learning the big picture, and if that is something that happens this week and he can't go, then we'll be able to accommodate that with some other bodies.
What would be the timeline for him to be able to clear protocol and then be able to play?
I mean, we'll take it all the way until we have to make the call on Sunday. So, it's totally out of our hands, and we absolutely want to make sure that number one priority is the health of the player. So, we'll do everything by the book in that regard. And when the doctors and physicians and the specialists tell us that it's clear and we're good to go, then we'll try to make a good decision on that.
Of course, you have a very physical, demanding back coming up in Derrick. However, the past couple of weeks you've done pretty well against very good running backs as well. Can you just talk about what you've liked from the interior defensive line and stopping the run in the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, it's a challenge every week in our league, and there's a lot of physical backs now, and there's a different style of run game each week. Last week's run game was a little different than this week's relative to what we're going to see and how we're going to have to defend it. I thought our guys have tried to, play vertical into the defense and try to, knock some of the line of scrimmage back. That's difficult to do on a play-to-play basis in this league because there's good linemen, good tight ends, good fullbacks that are trying to create openings for the backs too. So it's a team thing. Run defense is always going to be about the team fitting together, playing your assignment, and being disciplined, along with being physical and tough. So one man can make a mistake and it could lead to a big play, and so everybody's a key cog. We talk about everybody being at the point of attack, whether the run starts this way or that way, it could find its way back to you quickly. And if you're out of your gap or you're out of position, then you could have an issue. So just continuing to stress our fits and our fundamentals, trying to play together and, play off of one another. And that'll be really important, obviously, on Sunday.
Josh, to follow it up, I've got two if you don't mind, but some people say, okay, you stack the box against Derrick Henry, but is it as simple as just loading it to stop him and to impact? Because, the one thing you've seen is a lot of teams haven't been able to reset the line of scrimmage against them and get hands on him, behind the line of scrimmage. Is it that simple or?
No, it is not. I wish it was. If you could say, hey, put the safety down and then it'll be all good. First of all, his success, he's a phenomenal football player. I think we all know that. But his success, and every running back would tell you this, is a product of a lot of other people doing a good job at their job as well, and a lot of times I think when runners get success, we kind of forget about the guys that are doing the dirty work in front of them, and their line plays really hard. They compete, they're physical. They use a lot of different run schemes. It's not just one thing. And so there's they have misdirection, they have outside zone, they have inside zone, they have gap schemes, they toss the ball, they use, missile motions to try to, get your eyes in the wrong spot. So it really wouldn't make any difference. If you're in a post safety defense or a split safety, there's an assignment that you have on defense. And to me, the assignment and taking care of your responsibility is the most important part of it, regardless of how many people you have down there. And like I've said before, they get a vote too. There's different ways that they can attack you. They can put different personnel groupings out there. They can get small with a bunch of receivers. They can get big with a bunch of tight ends. So it really won't make any difference. We're going to have to play good run defense from whatever shell we're going to play it from, and obviously you're going to mix it up a little bit, hopefully. But they've run it well against however many, and nobody sees more loaded boxes than they do. Nobody.
Coach, throughout training camp and watching.
You had one more, Steve?
Yeah.
You want more? No worries. I just want to make sure.
Just you see that they've given up some explosive plays in the run game and in the pass game. And watching their tape, is there tendencies, whether it be personnel or shifts of formation, where you see potential things to exploit, or is it maybe just like a blown assignment? Which
I think that anytime you give up, first of all, this defense historically is one of the best in the league at forcing long drives, which means they don't give up a lot of big plays, in general terms. And I would say that when we've competed against Mike's teams and their defenses, for a long time now, like that's one of those chores that you just go into the game assuming that you're going to have to do it. It's not going to be 3 plays and score. It's going to be 10 plays, 11 plays, 9 plays, 2 third-down conversions, something like that. They make you go the long, hard way most of the time. So there's nothing that I would say, oh, wow, they really struggle with this. This is a sound defense. I know there's been a couple teams that have found an opportunity there and taken advantage of it. That's football, I think, more than anything. So, we're going to try to run things we know how to run, keep our eyes open, and if an opportunity presents itself for us to make a big play, then hopefully we can capitalize on it. But I don't think you can go into this game assuming that those are going to happen because, generally speaking, they don't give them up very much. They got 2 really good safeties that protect the deep part of the field very well and touch the ball too. So we just got to be disciplined, and execute. And like I said, a couple teams have found a few opportunities, and if those come and those present themselves, hopefully we can take advantage of them.
Josh, they are clock eaters, and I'm just curious, how important is it, even if there isn't scores, for some types of drives, just so you can get your defense a rest?
Yeah. There's been really good stretches for us where we've had the ball a lot this year, and then there's been some stretches where we haven't maintained possession as much as we really would like to. So we know that it's a tug of war from the opening kickoff to get control of the game with this team, and they were second in the league, I think, in time of possession last year for a reason, because they can you produce on first down, keep second down short. If third and short is not a big, they can make third and shorts as good as anybody in the league. And then defensively, they're really good in short yardage, third and short. Don't give up a lot of big plays, like I said. So we're going to have to execute. There's no shortcut around this one. If we want to have an equal time of possession, or perhaps gain an advantage there and make sure that we're balanced with who's on the field, we're going to have to do a good job of executing offensively. And it's not going to be, like I said, it's not going to be easy. Run or pass, and they force you to drive the ball. So our execution is going to be at a premium, no doubt about it, if we want to have time of possession.
Coach, throughout training camp and watching practice, one thing that I noticed is your team is physically tough, but more importantly, mentally tough. Can you talk about the mental toughness that your team has and how that can help when facing adversity?
Yeah, I think we're, I think that's something that you continue to develop. And adversity always, kind of has a way of displaying, where you are in terms of your overall mental toughness, because there's a lot of things you could be thinking about, talking about, worrying about that are out of your control, things that have happened in the past that there's nothing we can do about those things. And really what it comes back to is, can you focus on the day at hand, the task at hand, and what you're getting ready to prepare yourself to do. So I love our approach, our outlet. I think our team has a really good mindset going into this game. We know it's going to be a big challenge. It's a new opponent for us. They've really spent a lot of time learning them. And go out there on Wednesday practicing pads. I thought they responded, to that really well. And again, this is going to be a physical game, so those are things you got to do. So our leadership has been great, in the locker room, and I think that will continue.
Coach, has your offense evolved in the way that you thought it would, as far as them picking up your offense really quickly and kind of in the vision that you see for them?
Yeah, I think that just the overall communication, terminology, and foundation, I have no issues with that. Our guys, it's a lot of that's the same, from when we started in April. So what we will ultimately end up being, or what we will ultimately end up finding the most success doing, I don't think we know what the answer to that is yet. We're trying to get good at everything, which is what every team and staff, I think, is, trying to do and accomplish at this point in time of the year. There's definitely room for improvement in each area. And again, hopefully as we go, those things will start to stand out to us more and more, pretty good in this area, pretty good here. Maybe we need to do a little less of this, it's not as productive. But that's what we self-scout for every week. That's what we try to keep in mind as we go forward and make decisions about the game plan. And hopefully, like I said, our best football is yet to come.
Which obviously winning in this league takes all 53 guys doing their job and kind of being on the same page. But when you're in a spot like this, coming off the loss of last week and trying to find that first victory, is it incumbent on the captains, the stars, the big voices to kind of make a stand and kind of take you guys to that next step?
I think our team in general has had a really good outlook on handling situations like this, and we've had a bad practice before. We've had a bad few practices, during the course of the spring or training camp, and they present opportunities for you to do the same thing. And so I think our captains have done a phenomenal job of trying to set an example of the way that they want things done. I think their work ethic as a team, our guys come in every day ready to go. They were prepared on Wednesday. They're prepared this morning. So, I think that's probably a little too much to say it falls on, a handful of guys. 53 guys need to do their job and 11 guys on every play. So there's a lot of people that need to come through for us to have success. And again, but I think our leaders have done a good job of their job. And we all have to do a really important job on Sunday.
You're talking about how the Titans defense kind of makes you string along very long drives. How beneficial is it for you to have 4 or 5 quality running backs that really help with time of possession, really move the ball down the field like that?
Yeah, our depth in the backfield has already, been challenged a little bit, which was a few things here and there injuries wise. And that's why we usually carry that number of backs. But it's going to be important. It'll be a little humid down there, different than here in terms of the overall humidity. But, whatever the game what form it takes, I'm not exactly sure yet. But we'll definitely try to maintain our balance if we can. We've always tried to do that. And using those guys the best of their ability and the right roles is going to be important. So we'll see how it kind of shakes out this week.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Good to go? All right. Thanks, guys. Travel safe. They play tomorrow night. So I'll be at a live stream then tomorrow night.
You're from Ohio, you let your kid play for a Wolverine.
I know, tell me about that.
You've been watching Breaking News from the Las Vegas Review-Journal, sponsored by Michael Gaughan's South Point Hotel, Casino, and Spa.